This is the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel 1970-73 Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler YouTube channel.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1970-73 Carryover League. We are continuing in the postseason tournament with battles for first place between second and first place teams in the National League Mountain Division. This has been truly entertaining, both before the All-Star break and now. Let's look at the needs first of what has to happen to play out in this division. We look right here. Colorado is the road team. Vegas has home field because during the regular season schedule it was the other way around. Even with home field, Vegas won that series 4-2, a net of +2, and 3 of their wins were actually in Colorado. And that puts Colorado a game and a half back to begin this series. And by doing the math, Colorado, if they won it conventionally 4-3, it would not work. 4-3, they'd still be a half game back, and Vegas would still have a +1 in the head-to-head. So unfortunately for Colorado, they got to work a little harder. They have to win 5 of 7 games. They win 5 of 7 games, now up by a game and a half, and of course they'd have the tiebreaker as well. So at least they don't need 8 games, just 5 of the final 7 games of the season is the way we look at it. So what has happened? Boy, folks, I know this is fictional, because the Colorado Rocky franchise and of course the Las Vegas team didn't exist. But it's been a lot of fun of watching the interesting matchups these teams present. Game 1, Dick Drago, Ray Culp. Drago was a Royal, Culp was a Red Sox. This game, Las Vegas rolls. Single, sac fly in the 3rd. A big error by shortstop Jim Driscoll ignited 2 runs to score. And then in the 5th inning, a big 3-run homer by Bacabella added another one. But its story is Ray Culp. 2-hit shutout. Ray Culp beats Drago 7-0. And now Vegas is on alert here because they only had to win 3 of these 7 games, not 4. And they just won 1 of them, which means the Rockies can only afford 1 more loss in this series. So let's see what happens in game number 2. Well, folks, this one went extra innings. What a crazy game this was. Joe Liss, a 3-run homer for Colorado. That is their calling card. They couldn't get any of that in game 1. They finally get a 3-run homer. They probably should have more homers than any other team, but they don't. A big 6th inning, and they have a 6 on the board. This is Gary Peters, a left-hander, against Woody Fryman. Woody Fryman was an all-star, but he gets his feathers ruffled for 6 runs through 6 innings. Bottom of the 6th, though, it's a 3-run homer for Jim Nettles. We got a 6-4 game. It stays that way into the 9th when Mel Queen, the all-star closer of the Rockies, is brought in to try and even the series with a 6-4 win. He gets a flyout, a single, a strikeout, and then with 2 outs, needing just to get 1 more out, he walks Ron Hansen, and then Aurelio Rodriguez, the original A-Rod, hits a 2-out, 2-run triple to tie this thing, and the nightmares the Rockies had, the Las Vegas has come back in the 9th inning at least 2 other times. They lost 1 in extra innings, they won 1 in extra innings. Unfortunately, though, the Rockies do get the 1 in extra innings on a Paul Ratliff homer off of Jim York, who lost that game as well. Jim York has 2 losses to the Rockies. John Cumberland gets the win in relief. Nice long 12-inning game, 7-6 Colorado final, and we got a split. So now the Rockies need to go home and win some baseball games. All right, game number 3 at home now. It's Carl Morton versus Ken Brett. And where are the bats, folks? Where are they? Bottom of the 3rd inning, we get an error by Aurelio Rodriguez and a double by Gagliano, and that's a run. An RBI single for money, and it's 2-0. That's all Colorado could do. Meanwhile, Carl Morton is mowing down Vegas until the 7th when he gives up a single, a couple outs, a single, a walk, and a bases-loaded walk. They stick with him. He finishes the inning. It's a 2-1 game, and they end up with Schellenbach and Queen getting the final 6 outs. Pitching is the order here, somewhat shockingly. But the Rockies win the game 2-1, and now are a half game out of first. So they're on the way of trying to do the remarkable comeback. Game 4. Finally, the Rocky Bats do Rocky things. RBI double by Monday in the 1st. Then in the 3rd inning, it's Paul Ratliff with a 3-run homer. Then in the 4th inning, it's Joe LaHood with a 3-run homer. That's what Rockies are supposed to do. Sit around and wait for somebody to hit a 3-run homer is what the Rockies need. But Ron Reed kind of gets lit up a bit in the 5th inning for 4 runs. This is an exciting, high-scoring game, but the Colorado Rockies seem to have figured out their offense and have won the 3rd consecutive game. This is by a score of 10-5 in game number 4, and they now are a half a game ahead of Las Vegas. And there's 3 games left in this series. Whichever team can win 2 out of 3 will be in first place. So that's good news for Colorado, you think. Can they win game 5 at home and go on a 4-game winning streak? Well, those bats that woke up in game 4 went to sleep in game 5. Again, it's Ray Culp, Dick Drago. Drago pitched better than in the opener, gave up a sac fly in the 4th, but a 2-out, 2-run triple by Ron Hansen in the 7th. Ray Culp, who had a shutout in game 1, a solo homer by Andy Costco in the 6th, an RBI triple by their number 2 hitter. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Both number 2 hitters hit RBI triples. And it's a 3-2 game. And that is the final. 3-2, Vegas beats Colorado. Sorry about that little break there. Let's get going into game 6 in Las Vegas. Colorado needs to win 2. Vegas needs to win 1. Leading off, Brant Alea, now in the leadoff spot. He was the Rocky representative in the All-Star game. 34 is a grounder to short. Phil Gagliano, 45, pops to first. Joe Liss, 410, center X. This is Ken Berry, a 1-0. Don't have to roll. Ken Berry, a 1-0 center fielder. The only player, one of the few players I can recall, where you don't have to roll the X chart. It's an automatic out. Bottom of the 1st, Gary Peters and the Rockies. It'll be Ken Berry leading off. 38, center. Tommy Davis, 35, is a single. Tim Cullen, 2-3, skies are right, and with 2 outs, Ron Hansen, 58, double 1-6 off of Peters, is a base hit. Runners in the corners for Aurelio Rodriguez, 57 is a K. Top of 2, Andy Costco, 69, center. Dave Kingman, 47. Single 1-2, lines out. And Rick Monday, 1-7's a K. Bottom of the 2nd, it's John Bacabella, 56, second X. Gagliano's a 48 at second base, makes the play. Jarvis Tatum, 57 is a K. And with 2 outs, Jim Nettles. He been batting all over in this lineup. They've in a slump, so they move him down into the 8th spot. 58, triple 1-3, gets a single. And with 2 outs, it's Jeff Torborg. 1-6, pops to second. So Vegas has wasted 3 base runners. And again, another low-scoring start to a series where we thought the Rockies would bring some fireworks. We've noticed that Vegas is better against righties than lefties, which would explain the slow start. And we also know that the Rockies, if they're not hitting their home runs, they're not scoring runs. So, be interesting to see how this plays out in Game 6. Don Money leading off in the 3rd, 4-12, skies the center. Jack Hyatt, 4-11. Right X. This is Jarvis Tatum as a 3 in right field. Makes the catch. And the number 9 hitter, Rick Auerbach. 6'10", short X. This is Hanson, who's a 4-14. Could use some home field cooking. He cannot get it. He cannot make a play on that ground ball. And after 8 outs, we have a base runner. Auerbach is also an A stealer. When you hit 218, you might as well take advantage of what you are good at. He'll try a steal, and he rolls a 20 and is thrown out stealing. Oh well. Bottom of the third, Ken Berry. 3-6. Single and a 4, lines out. Tommy Davis, 48, is a walk. Tim Cullen, 5'11", pitcher X Peters, is an E20. This will be interesting. A2, E20, and it's a GBA. Well, we move to the fourth, briskly moving game. Brant Alea, 66, is a base hit. Phil Gagliano, 2-7's a walk. 2 on, nobody out for Joe Liss. 1-6, let's take a look at Joe Liss. Here's your typical Rocky player, homers, walks, and strikeouts. No homer chance here in 1-6 against a lefty. It'll be a clean double in the center field. That'll get at least 1 run in. Gagliano will hold up at third base. So the first trouble of the game for Brett. Second and third, nobody out. And it's Andy Costco. 4-11, skies it into right field. This is Jarvis Tatum, the 3-6 in right field. And that is a sac fly, which is fine. Runner at second with 1 out for Dave Kingman. Uh-oh, there's a base hit in the left field. Now Liss, 11 runner. Nettles got a +1 arm. The road team needs a 14 for permission to run, and they don't get it. So they have runners in the corners with 1 out, and it's Rick Monday. Vegas could bring the infield up. I like to do this with runners in the corners and 1 out. Because they're down 2-zip. They'll do it. They'll bring the infield up for Rick Monday. 46 is single 1-6. He lines out on 11. They move back to full depth for Don Money with runners in the corners and 2 outs. And Money bounces this short. So, this has been the story of this series. Teams, you know, they get a couple runs, but they actually could have gotten a lot more. We've hardly seen any 5 and 6 run innings where teams just bat around. They load the bases and they get a run. Things like that. That's the nature of these two squads. Bottom of the fourth, Ron Hansen. 37 is a walk. Your tie run is original A-Rod, Aurelio Rodriguez. 1-9. Let's take a look at Aurelio's card. He actually, in 1970, was a Washington Senator, and he was on the radar of the Detroit Tigers, who traded for him. But in this recreation, it's Vegas who takes him away from Texas and away from the Tigers. And the Tigers ended up getting Clete Boyer, who was also a 1 third baseman. That was a nice little story. Anyway, 1-9 is double 1 to 15. That's a single ... You got tying runs aboard for John Bacabella. 5-10 off the Gary Peters card. Homer 1 to 11. He rolls the 1. It is gone. And just I was talking about 3-run homers, we get one, finally. And Vegas takes a 3-2 lead. And Vegas, we could say, is now 15 outs away from ending this series with the lead in the National League Mountain Division. Jarvis Tatum, 33, pops to third. Jim Nettles, 57, is a K. And Jeff Torborg, 49, is a base hit. Ken Berry, 65, rolls to second base. Top of the fifth. Ken Brett had a difficult fourth, but he's a starter 8. Forgot to give you Brett's stats. I'll do it now. He was 13-9 with a 3.44 ERA with the Phillies in 1973. Interestingly, that the Phillies had too many left-handed pitchers with Carlton, Horner, and Max Scarse, so they couldn't have a fourth. So Brett was exposed, and Las Vegas snatched him up. So he's pitching here in the fifth to Jack Hyatt. 62, rolls to the pitcher. Rick Auerbach, 48, is a walk. The ace stealer, he got thrown out before. He's going to try it again, and he's thrown out again. And unfortunately, the road team get caught stealing. If you get caught twice, bartender takes your car keys, folks. You cannot steal anymore. The home team, you're allowed to get caught 3 times. And the reality is the Rockies don't have any other speed other than Rick Monday. Everybody else is a C, D, or E. So Branalea, 2-7 is a walk. And Phil Gagliano, 2-9, grounds to short. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th, but first let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, Tommy Davis leads off in the bottom of the 5th. 47's a K. Tim Cullen, 2-8. Double 1 at 2 is a base hit. Ron Hansen, 112 fouls to the catcher. And with 2 outs, Aurelio Rodriguez, 47 is a K. Another tight game with these two teams. We haven't had any. Game 1 was a blowout, 7-0, but after that, everything's been really tight. Joe Liss, 55 off Brett's a double. Your tie runs at second base for Andy Costco. Let's take a look at Andy. I haven't seen a lot of cards today. Got to look at this one, though, folks. My goodness. Andy Costco. This is what the Rockies want to do. They want to hit a home run. And beyond that, they don't really care. They don't care about striking out. They don't care about how your fielding is or whatever. They want to hopefully get some 3-run homers, get a couple of those, you get 6 runs, and then you'll deal with whatever badness your pitching and defense allow. Andy Costco, 46 is a base hit to center. List, 11-runner, can't run off Barry. You have runners on the corners for Kingman. I think they're going to play it back, though, this time. Hopefully get a strikeout and then double play. 58 is a strikeout. With 1 out now, you could bring it up for Monday, the left-hander. And they will. 49 Monday, he gets the hit off the Brett card to tie it. Double 1, single dot dot. And that ties the game at 3. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Still going to bring it up for Don Money. 112 is ground ball short B. Perfect. With the infield up, that means he's gunned down at the plate. So now you got first and second with 2 outs for Jack Hyatt. 47, single 1 and 2 is a line out. Another tight game with these two teams. 3-3 in the bottom of the 6th. John Bacabella. 2-11, pops to short. Jarvis Tatum, 48, is a walk. Jim Nettles, 3-6 is a 6. 4-3. Double play. Peters gets through 6 after a rocky start here. That 3-run homer put guys on it every inning, but he got his team through 6 innings. This could turn out to be a battle of bullpens. Gary Peters, the starter, 7. Ken Brett, starter, 8. We go to the 7th inning. It's Rick Auerbach, who's been on twice. 65 rolls a second. Brant Alea, he's been on twice. 64, catcher's card. This is Torborg's a 3E5, and he makes the play. Phil Gagliano, 55 off Brett, is a double. Runner at second, 2 outs for Joe Liss, who has a couple doubles today, an RBI and a run scored. Nice day. The pitch to Joe Liss, 2-4 though, is a strikeout. Stretch time in Las Vegas. A fine game between 2 expansion teams. We've been listening to Ayulu Mesfin, Ethiopia, from the 1970s. Let's turn this up a little bit. There we go. Great stuff from Addis Ababa in the 1970s. Let's get back to the game. Bottom of the 7th, Gary Peters. You got Torborg, doesn't scare anybody. And then you got some righties at the top. Let's see what he does with Torborg. 1-5 is a grounder to short. So, in a 3-3 game, you got righty, 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 righty. Maybe it's time to take Gary Peters out and be glad he got you 6 1/3. That's what they're going to do. Rockies got to push this a bit. Vegas has a game cushion. Colorado does not. They got to try and push this thing, and they're going to go to Al Fitzmaurice in the 7th inning. Really good reliever. Was a Royal in 73 with an 8-3 record and 2.83 ERA in 89 innings. He comes on in the 7th. Face Ken Berry. 310 is a walk. He's a C stealer. Hyatt has a +1 arm. Tommy Davis a B hit and runner. Dare we try a 1-out hit and run? Haven't done anything like that in this series yet. A hit and run. He rolled a 2. It's perfect. It's a single dot on the hit and run. Big move there in this game. Runners in the corners, 1 out. They got to bring it up for Tim Cullen. Let's look at the Tim Cullen card. It was in Oakland A in 1972. One of the many second basemen that team had. Hit 261 and 142 at-bats. No bigger moment than here for his Las Vegas squad. The infield is up. The pitch to Tim Cullen. 46 off of Fitzmaurice is a base hit to left field, and Vegas takes the lead. Tommy Davis holds at second with 1 out. Ron Hansen. 64, short X. Auerbach's a 3E33. Ground ball C. You got second and third with 2 outs. They're going to, well, it's 2 outs. So playback for Aurelio Rodriguez. 46 off of Fitzmaurice. A base hit in the left field, and Fitzmaurice has the goat horns as he is blown this game for the Colorado. Cullen, 12 runner. 13-14, left fielder Ayala, +2 arm. +1 arm makes it 15. He will run. He will advance and score a 2-out single by A-Rod, and we have a 6-3 game. Bacabella, 37 is a K. Well, nice little Ayalu Mesfin helping Vegas there with a rally in the 7th. A 6-3 game. Vegas 6 outs away from splitting these 6 games, which continues the trajectory they were on with a 1.5 lead in this division after the first round of the tournament. Again, it's a 3-round tournament here, so they haven't clinched anything or cannot clinch anything. None of these first place teams can clinch per se. Ken Brett has a 3-run lead in the 8th inning, and I think they're going to turn this over as Rockies do crush lefties. They're going to go to Jim York in the 8th. Now, it's been a dubious series for York against Colorado. He's lost 2 games to him. So they're showing some faith. A guy who's lost twice to the Rockies is being brought on in the 8th inning to try and protect the 6-3 game. He will face Andy Costco. Pitch to Costco, 57 is second X. And it's Cullen, the 2E32. And he makes the play. Dave Kingman. 311 is a hit by the pitch. Rick Monday. 55 is a walk. And here we go with York again. The struggles continue. He'll face the tie run Don Money. Again, York is really good against righties, not so much against lefties. So he'll continue against the righty Money. Big moment here. 4-8 is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, and with Jack Hyatt, the batter, without power against righties, you've got 3 lefties on the bench. As soon as you invite one of them in, the Vegas squad will immediately go to their left-handed closer. But that's okay. That's okay. They are going to bring in Joe LaHood to pinch hit here with the best chance they have for a 3-run homer. Jim York will exit. And now he cannot lose the game as they are up by 3. And it's up to Jim Rowland to figure out how to get the next 4 outs. Jim Rowland, the Vegas closer, will face Joe LaHood. Let's take a look at these guys. Rowland and LaHood. You see LaHood, of all the guys on the bench who are left-handed versus lefties, LaHood has the most on bases and he has power. And he has homer chances on both his card and Rowland's. So that was the motive here. In the 8th inning, Jim Rowland to Joe LaHood with 2 on and 2 outs. The pitch to Joe LaHood. 2-6 is a grounder to the third base. Tough break for the Rockies. LaHood will continue in the game and play an outfield spot. We need a catcher. Since we took a catcher out, Paul Ratliff will come in and catch. We'll stick him in the Joe List spot. And we will go to the bottom of the 8th. Fitzmaurice, he'll continue as he's the pitcher of record here. Jarvis Tatum, 35K. Jim Nettles, 58. This guy's all right. And Jeff Torborg, 69, pops to short. We'll go to the 9th. Vegas won game 1, dropped 3, and has got a good chance of winning 2 in a row here to continue to be in first place in this division. So in the 9th inning, it's Auerbach, Ayala, Gagliano with a 3-run lead. However, Colorado, like I said, they're really good against lefties. If Roland, as the closer, would run into trouble, they can go to a righty like Tom Dukes or Roger Hambright. Here is, leading off, Rick Auerbach. 1-7 is a K. Now the top of the lineup, and no better moment for Bran Alea to help rally his team. He's having a heck of a year. Pitch to Bran Alea. 39 is a grounder to short, and with 2 outs, it's all up to Phil Gagliano. Let's take a look at his card. This is a really nice little card to have. He was a Red Sox in 71, hit .324 in 68 at-bats. And, yeah, gets on base plenty. Doesn't have the home runs the Rockies like, but he has the walks that the Rockies like. And they need a guy to get on base here. With 2 outs, the pitch to Phil Gagliano. 53 off of Roland is a roller to first base. See, and that is it. And it is Vegas, who comes back with 2 wins after a rocky mid-series rally, you can say. Yeah, the Rockies ripped off 3 wins in the middle of this, but it didn't matter. And unfortunately, they don't get the joy of playing a Game 7 because you don't play the 7th game when it has no bearing on the standings. This is an up to 7 tournament. This is how we do it, not a best of. So we can go to the box for this one. We saw the same thing with the Reds-Cardinals. In the previous series, the Reds got split 4 games with the Cardinals, and we stopped playing. That's all we needed to do to just distinguish first from second place. Roland gets the save. He came in and faced LaHood, struck out a guy in the 9th. Nice little work there. Jim York made his Vegas teammates nervous again with 2 walks and a K. Ken Brett gets the win, though. 8 hits and 3 runs. They were all earned. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Fitzmaurice, unfortunately, takes the loss. He came in to face the heavy right-handed lineup and just had a miserable 7th inning, giving up 3 hits, 3 runs, a walk and a K, and another K in the 8th. Gary Peters, well, 7 hits, no decision. The big 3-run homer in the 4th inning, but they just didn't have the confidence for him to continue. 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. 1019, 0108, 61038, 61038, 5547, 4755. That is game number 6. And we'll look at the records of the 2 teams. If the rest of the National League was hoping that a team from this division would run away with it, so they're kind of rooting for Vegas, and the rest of the National League is hoping that Colorado fades, the Arizona Diamondbacks fade, and the other expansion team, Portland, fades. They can't have 2 expansion teams make the playoffs. That would be a disaster for the National League when there are so many good teams, like the Dodgers, the Mets, the Reds, the Braves, the Giants, the Pirates, who are in dire straits. So, the Colorado Rockies, well, we're back to where we started. The records, the games over 500 are right where we were when this series started. The Rockies were a game over, and they're still a game over. They're 18-17. Hitting .242 with a .402 ERA. Brant Alea, though, the now leadoff guy, 12 homer and 36 RBI. He'll probably get on the MVP list somewhere. Not win it, of course. Vegas, 20-16. Still a 4 over 500. Hitting .272 with a .372 team ERA. This is a team that has found a bunch of spare parts that work together well. Ray Culp I want to mention that Ray Culp, he was available. He was put on waivers, and the Cincinnati Reds went out and traded for Dick Bosman, and Ray Culp would have been a better option, as he's a better pitcher than Dick Bosman, at least in this replay. And Vegas ended up with him, so that's good news for Vegas. Woody Fryman is still 5-0. He was the All-Star. The offense is getting contributions all over the place. We have Tommy Davis has 47 hits, which makes him just 297 hitter. A lot of at-bats too. And when we look at the overall standings in this division, we're right where we started. And you'll see here, this is why Game 7 was not necessary, because Vegas has a 1.5 lead. Game 7 would do no good. And frankly, it would hurt the Rockies if they lost it. If I was forced to play a Game 7, this is why I set up this postseason tournament this way. The Rockies could drop that game too, and now they'd be 18-18 going into the next round. So they'll take the one game over 500. They would play the third place team from this division, which is setting up to be the Pirates. Oh boy, that would be interesting if it turned out to be Pirates-Rockies in the second round. Pirates would have to do some work, but they clearly are the better roster. And when we plug in the chart that tracks the postseason, Colorado needed a 5-2. They didn't get it. Las Vegas got a 3-3. They were 17-13, so now they're 20-16. And again, all these results you see over here are from last year. So Colorado was 15-14. Now they're 18-17, I believe. Just double check that. Yes, 18-17. So they're still, they're still eligible. Having a winning record gets you a reasonable chance of continuing into the second and third rounds of the postseason tournament. The purpose is to eliminate the last place teams. And when we look at that division now, with each of these teams 4 and a single game over 500, there's no way that both of these teams play each other that they both would have a better record than the Rockies. There's no way the Rockies could fall into fourth place and be eliminated. One of these teams mathematically would, as they are combined 3 games under 500. So that's how we compute the games needed to play in the first round of the tournament. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.